I feel like I'm being punked right now. Like, there's no way that this many things can go wrong in such a short span of time. Oh, now you're working? Okay, alright. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Hey, everybody! This is an impromptu video. I have been meaning to take a video to talk to you about the issues with switching back to a dumb phone. Because a lot of my feed is people telling me and telling you, go back to a simpler time where you don't have a smartphone and things are easier. And let me tell you, it's not worth it. Long story short, if you don't want to watch this long video, I'll tell you right now, don't switch to a dumb phone, because in the modern age, it's very difficult to get by. If you want to know the whole thing, you can stay for the video. I decided to shoot this because I am right now going on hour 3 of trying to work with Cricket to fix my smartphone that I went back to after using the dumb phone, because now my RCS messaging is not working. So I have an iPhone, I have a group chat with some friends, and my husband kept talking to me about things that were happening in the group chat, and I did not realize that my RCS messages are not working on my iPhone. So since I switched back, I have Cricket as my provider. I switched from my iPhone 16, okay, which worked fine, to a Cricket Debut flip phone. And this phone is Cricket's cell phone. I had to buy a physical SIM card, put it in, have them activate the physical SIM card. I honestly only made it 3 or 4 days. And I will get into the details of why. But ever since I switched the phone back, it has not been working properly for me. And I'm so over it. I'm sick of it. If I can't message people anyway, why have a phone? This crash out is sponsored by Gabby. Okay, reasons why a dumb phone does not work. First, there's no easy way to navigate a city if you're unfamiliar with it. Look, at home, going to church, going to the grocery store, I can navigate. In fact, I took a different way to my church. Like, I know there's 3 different ways to go. And I've taken all 3 with my GPS before. So the second day with the phone, I actually had to go to church and I drove the least traveled way. Why? I don't know. I was like, God, take me there. Let's see if I can do it without a GPS, without anything. And I made it. But there were moments driving where I went, I think I'm supposed to go left. And I just took the leap and I made it. I made it to church. I feel like if there's anywhere that God's going to help you get, it's definitely going to be church. So it was easier to navigate if I obviously knew the area. But new cities, new places, right? You need to go somewhere you've never been. Funny enough, the other day, Mike actually took my phone to work by accident, and I did not have my cell phone. And I had to take our dog Loki for a haircut at a PetSmart about 15 minutes away. I'd never been to the PetSmart, did not know if it was off the main road. He took my phone. I could not call the vet to verify the vaccines and get a copy. I could not call PetSmart to cancel the appointment. I ended up borrowing my neighbor's phone to be able to call the vet, leave a voicemail because he was leaving for work before 9 a.m. And I had to leave a voicemail and they were able to email me the vaccination. Then I Googled PetSmart and ended up being on the main road, and I just drove straight there and I made it there. But imagine being in a new place, in a new city, not having access to a computer, not being very familiar with it. Like, obviously a smartphone's super convenient for having that navigation really quick at your fingertips. Second to this maps and navigation is you cannot park in certain places, because in major cities now they have converted most of their change coin operated like hourly meters over to a QR code or a pay meter. Now, you can obviously park there if it's like pay by plate, but a lot of them are now pay by phone and you scan a QR code. And if you don't have a smartphone, it says, here's a phone number to call. And I have heard other YouTubers review. I didn't really have a chance to use this because we found a parking structure that took credit cards. But if we had not, I don't know if that phone number, anybody would have answered me, because there was some feedback in other people's YouTube reviews about using dumb phones, that was their issue. They couldn't access anybody on the phone to be able to help them. Some restaurants do not offer physical menus anymore. So if you're trying to see what you want to eat, there's a QR code on the table. And if they don't have a menu, what do? Are you supposed to borrow your waiter's cell phone? I don't think so. So that is another issue that I ran into. There was a restaurant that did not have physical menus. It was very bizarre. I was like, thought this was a normal standard. I guess they just assume that everybody has smartphones now. Didn't work. Checking into airlines, downloading tickets from Ticketmaster. These are things that are possible but are very difficult without your cell phone. Checking in for an Allegiant flight I had last week, I actually tried to do it without the app. It would not let me. Now, my flight to Florida was not during the same week that I had tried to switch to this flip phone, so I didn't actually have to experience trying to navigate at the airport. But I can imagine what that's like and the difficulties of like, I don't have the plane ticket on my phone, I don't have the boarding pass on my phone, I don't have the app to be able to check in, right? I have to physically go everywhere and do everything, which can take extra time. Or I want to make an Amazon return, I have to pre-print the QR code on a piece of paper and bring the return to Kohl's and have them scan it that way instead of just pulling up the email on my phone. Okay, another one was I had no easy access to my audiobooks or to my music while driving in the car. So, of course, I use Apple Podcasts quite a bit. I use Audible a ton. I listen to a lot of my romantasy novels on Audible. I have a bunch that are already like, I purchased them and I listen to them over and over again. I'm actually re-listening to ACOTAR because there are 2 new books coming out in the next year. Chef's kiss. So excited for those. Anyway, really different to get in the car and have to pick a station on the radio or listen to whatever's in the CD player instead of, I know you're like, CD player, my car is 15 years old. It's very different to not have that plug and play or Bluetooth and play and just continue where you left off on whatever you were listening to when you were home. I have Alexa devices at home, trying to make sure she doesn't hear me. And I also have an iPad, so I can listen to that stuff when I'm at home, even if I don't have my smartphone. But yeah, it's definitely different. If you use WhatsApp or GroupMe for a group, specifically, I am a part of my tech group for church and the worship team, and I was not getting any notifications from them. So they were sharing things, chatting about things, and because I did not have GroupMe or WhatsApp on my phone, obviously with that flip phone, I was not able to check the messages until I got home and logged in to the computer. Not a horrible thing, it's just like if there's something in the spur of the moment, for instance, rehearsals at 6:30, if they decided to cancel rehearsal or something happened, I wouldn't know unless I went and logged in to check before I left for rehearsal. If you want to capture a moment, you also have to remember to bring a physical camera. This is a piece that I don't think we really acknowledge. It's like the whole calculator in your pocket thing. We have a really, really nice phone. That's so funny. We have a really, really nice camera built into our cell phones, and it's so easy to just pull it out of your pocket and take a picture of the moment or take a video of the moment. Now, I am trying to learn to take a picture and a video when it's important and not just because I want to share it and try to brag about something, right? So that's a big change and shift for me mindset-wise. But, you know, again, moments where I was like, oh, this would be a cute picture, or, oh, I want a photo of this food or whatever. If I wasn't prepared with a camera, I did not get to take a photo. Whether that's good or bad, I mean, took a memory there, took a memory there. Comment down below if you get the reference. Another factor here, another app that I couldn't access was the All Trails app. We are in the Hudson Valley in New York. There are a lot of beautiful trails and hiking places to go, and that app is super convenient for finding a trail based on easy, medium, hard, or length, or where you want to go hiking, and then it gives you directions directly to the parking lot. And so that would be another piece of it. If I wanted to go for a hike, it's not as easy as plug it in and 2 minutes later we're leaving. It's going to be sit down, log into my computer, have to find it, have to print the directions, have to get it in the car, and get going. Or I guess you could purchase a GPS, but I didn't purchase one because I kind of knew like right away I was going to be switching back to my phone, and I was like, this ain't it, chief. This next one is exactly why I'm having such an issue with my phone now that I tried to switch back. No group chats, right? So everything was coming in as single separate text messages, and at some point the group chat that I was in, they were all messaging and I was getting them each individually, and it was insane. Or I think I might have been getting them in a group chat, but then if I went to text them back, it was going to text it separately to each person, and I was like, this is way too much, right? So I ended up like, I think they started a new chat without me, and that's really how all of this came about, was then I got back in the old one and tried to send a message, and they can get my messages, and I can't get theirs. Anyway, yeah. Group chats, really difficult on a cell phone. For better or worse, I guess you could just individually call your friends if you would like, but the problem that you're going to run into is if they're making plans and they're shooting a text out to multiple people, you may miss it and then you may miss out. And finally, it took me forever to text people back. I don't know how I did it in high school. I could text under the table on a T9. I could still text under the table on a T9 keyboard, no problem. But the amount of time that it takes compared to just swiping away or texting away, or honestly, I'm just like, I literally have it listen to my dictation and text it out for me and send it. I'm one of those people that walks around like, yeah, it's good. Because I'm lazy like that. It's so funny. My sister was like, you and mom, last week I was at her house and my mom was in another room and I was in the other room and my sister was in between. She heard us both talk to text on our phones at the same time. And she was like, this is bizarre. So I am my mother. Mike was right. But yeah, it took me forever to text people back. Now, on that note, let's turn it around and talk about the good things and the reasons why you might want to switch to a dumb phone. And being connected to what I just said, I didn't text people back. I called them. So I actually spoke to people on the phone who I normally wouldn't speak to. And now that I'm back on my smartphone, there's 1 or 2 friends that I am now calling instead of texting. I prefer calling. It's genuine. I can hear your reaction. I know what's going on. I'm not overthinking and overreading a basic text message and thinking she hates me, she's mad at me. Because you cannot read people's emotions and how they're trying to come across in a text message. I will say another pro is that there's no way to get caught in the delete and re-download loop for your social media apps or anything else that distracts you and takes time away from you, right? On a smartphone, you're like, oh, this app is taking up so much of my time. I'm just going to delete it, right? And then starts the cycle of deleting it. And then a day or 2 later being like, I'll download it and I'll just set a timer, right? And then you set like a 15-minute timer. And then it says your time is up for the day, right? And you're like, extend by 10 minutes, extend by 1 minute, extend by 1 minute. And eventually you hit ignore and now you're back to scrolling. And again, the loop of like, it's too much. Delete it, download it, delete it, download it. I don't know if you do this, but I definitely do this all the time. Big thing. I was not distracted while driving. This is massive, okay? I'm sorry. I don't care how big or smart your touchscreen or tablet is in the middle of your car. It is a distraction, okay? And it is causing accidents. It's causing impatience. It's just causing a lot of problems, right, on the road. I'm almost convinced that it's not that people have become worse drivers, but we've just become more distracted drivers, okay? So I was not distracted at all because there was nothing to look at while I was driving. I also did not feel bad leaving my phone behind. One of the days we had friends over in the yard, a couple of my husband's friends we haven't seen in a long time. We met their baby. It was such a nice little day. And my cell phone was upstairs and I completely forgot it existed for like several hours. And I came back to a couple of missed calls because I was expecting some people to call and I felt a little guilty about that, but really not much. It was a pretty freeing feeling to just be like, I'm not going to look at it. I'm enjoying my time. And I don't know why the dumb phone was just easier to leave behind. It's like with a smartphone, there's so much on it that you're afraid to be without it. I don't really know. I will say that I was a lot more focused and a lot more present. I obviously create content and I get very distracted, especially when I'm rendering my files and my footage in Premiere Pro, which I do often because I have a lot of files. I'll be waiting for things to render and I pick up my phone and start scrolling in that 30 seconds. Like I have such bad focus and attention. And I'm not going to go and say I have ADD, I have ADHD. Although when I was in middle school, I'm pretty sure I was diagnosed with ADD and I went on Ritalin for a semester and I did like really well. It was a quarter in middle school. My grades went up from C's to A's. And then I stopped taking it and they went back down to C's. So maybe something to be said there. But I do think a lot of these attention disorders and issues we have nowadays are all connected to these smartphones. And it's a big deal. It does make a difference when you don't have that distraction. I felt more focused. I was definitely more present in my relationships, more present in my conversations because I wasn't like, oh, did my phone buzz? Oh, did my phone buzz? Right? That invisible ghost buzz that you're checking your phone and there's no notification. That phone battery also has an extremely long lifespan, okay? So your iPhone, you use it all day long, it drains, you have to plug it in and recharge it every single night. That flip phone lasted like 2 or 3 days without a charge, no problem. Obviously, the first day I was on it a lot because I was trying to text people back and tell them, like, stop texting me, I have a T9 keyboard and it's awful. And that drained it pretty quickly, but when I was just taking like 1 or 2 calls, totally different experience. Really, really interesting thing I did not consider was that I was not pulling my phone out for everything. Sometimes I would just say, I don't know, and that would be it. There was no trying to figure it out. There was no continuing to try to better that knowledge and then getting distracted by something else. There was no Googling it. There was no chat GPTing it. It was just like we have a conversation and we're like, I don't know. And then move on to the next piece of the conversation. And I think that kept my conversations more present as well, because you're not getting absorbed into your phone, which, you go to Google something and then a notification comes in and you get totally distracted by something else. Finally, my favorite thing about that phone is you could slap it closed. There's something so nostalgic about just like slamming a cell phone closed. It reminds me of, being in high school and fighting with like my ex-boyfriend in high school and be like, yeah, and then just, I'm done with him, hang up. Like, there's just nothing like it. So yeah, I feel better after my crash out. I'm still waiting for my call back from Ahmed, but I really appreciate all of his help with my cricket issues. And hopefully in the next video, I'll come back and tell you that my phone got fixed. But Gabby kind of went out of control and got pretty pissed to the point where I almost just said, okay, cancel my entire service. And then what? I won't have a cell phone? Yeah, okay. So this video actually just helped ground me and make me remember why I like my smartphone. And yeah. So I can't message a couple people in the group chat for a little bit. I'm sure it will get sorted and everything will be okay. I have high-class problems today. These are luxury, first-class problems, and I am blessed beyond measure. Anyway, that's all I've got. Have a blessed week, and I will see ya next Saturday.